All right. I think we are live. Whoa. Do I have some? Oh, here we go. All right. That was simple. So I got to tell you the how can I say the internet world, people in my space are kind of going crazy right now because not just a few days ago, Facebook stopped allowing third-party streamers. So Zoom, I used Zoom for interviews. I also used another company called Ecamm Live. It was like it's a studio, very cool setup. And just let me check volume. Can you guys hear me? Very cool setup. And so Facebook stopped that, so everyone's going crazy and like, how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do that? No, those other platforms, I don't know how I'm gonna do interviews yet because I think that those have been going really well. And but sorry, I lost my train of thought. I was just looking at Monique there, and Monique actually invited me to their I'm not sure what you call it, Monique, your wellness center, and I'm going to do a presentation there this summer. So I'll definitely invite you guys once we have all the details buttoned up. So that'll be fun. That's actually in Calgary, but so everyone's freaking out, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm freaking out too." It's like conditioned response, right? What am I gonna do? And all I did was hook up Facebook's live, and it was no. I got my DSLR, I got my mic. Nothing has changed, and I only share that because I feel like that's life. You look at the. Excuse me while I get controversial. You look at the news and media. It's like they're trying to keep you in a fear state. You look at the top three things like any subject in Google, and what are the subjects is fear state. And I'm not gonna lie, like sure I'll play the game too with some of our titles so we can help more people if that's what gets people to sit down. But I just feel like we're in such a heightened state, which is exactly what I'm going to talk about here with our cortisol levels because of our perception. And for me, it's more of a conditioned response of what we've learned to respond to, which can be changed. So today is going to be about reducing stress, heightened cortisol levels, which is preventing stress in your life, and how we can help with that. So I'll just read some. Monique says, we're excited to have you. I am very excited to be there. I haven't really done any live. I used to do them all the time, every weekend. I was at a trade show or on stage somewhere, and I really enjoyed it. But I stopped and it was like, we're just going to do online. It's the easiest thing. So, Money Mom, Kelly's in here. This sounds good. Yeah, this is going to be a good one. I got to thank you guys. I have to tell you, it was like our orders were absolutely bonkers. I cannot even express what happened. We sent out, so Monday, I think I sent out an email telling you guys to get ready for Wednesday. Then Wednesday, we sent out an email and a text message, those of you that are on. And from 6 a.m. till we went to bed at 8 p.m. That's how exhausted we were. From 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., orders were coming in all day, and questions, and fix this with my order, or I want that with my order. And we're super grateful for our team. Like Nick obviously plays a big role in our back end organizing, but it was like a dream come true. Like we used to get orders once a week. I'm not even joking. We used to get orders once a week. And those of you that are newer here, we've been doing this for 12 years now. So I feel like we've put in our time, and got through the really difficult, dark days of is this even worth doing? And from a couple orders to a week, and then I guess to put that into context, our next biggest sales week, in about 4 days we sell 100 bottles of Splash in the summertime, and then we sell out, and that's it. So we sold over 300 bottles in 24 hours, and that's not including our other products, right? It's like we're beside ourselves. We still have not caught up with orders. So those more orders are going out today, and then for the pickups we have the option to we have the option people choose the option for Monday pickups. At any rate, I just want to express my gratitude. Like, we cannot be more grateful for our community. You guys are absolutely amazing. I put a long write up. I think most of you probably saw it, about how I've hated my birthday over the years. And I wanted to do something different. I wanted to celebrate. I wanted to give instead of, I think for birthdays, holidays, we're always looking to receive, or what do I get? And I was like that too. So I thought, what can we give? And we thought 42. And then I was like, well, let's just do 24% off. And then I was like, I don't know if that's big enough. I don't know if that's exciting enough. So we did 42% off. And I think just about everybody ordered. Good morning, D. Good morning, OC. So at any rate, we're super grateful for you guys. I want to tell you this real quick. I got this tea. I'm not promoting it or trying to advertise for it. I got this. It's called Magic Tea, GIK. Have you guys heard of that? Someone sent it to me in the mail, and they're like, "Hey, can you do a guest appearance, or can we have our formulator on?" And I'm like, "All right, maybe I should taste it first, see if it's any good." Hi, baby. Good morning to you.
He wanted to say hi to his
I was a little bit late this morning. I didn't want to wake him. He never sleeps in. Like, he's up at 6:30, usually at the latest,
daddy.
maybe 7, but he got up like right before 8. Like, it was 8. And I was like, Dorothy picked him up, and I tried to start the show as soon as possible. But he's all cuddled up with his mama now, isn't he? Hello. Did you have a good sleep? Yeah.
Okay, we'll go have breakfast. Say bye, Daddy.
Bye, baby.
Have good show.
Oh, thank you. Did you guys hear that? Oh my gosh. Being a parent is so much more fulfilling than I ever thought.
Good show,
Thanks, baby.
Good show,
Grandma says good morning.
Good show,
Can you guys hear him? Thank you. Okay. Let's get into our topic of cortisol levels and stress. Now, this is super important because I think a lot of people don't really know what cortisol levels are, first of all, that they're actually beneficial. Maybe I shouldn't open this. This is Ashitaba tea. This is actually, I put it in with my pu'er tea and green tea, and then that magic tea. Have a good show. Oh, thanks, Starla. I was wondering if you guys could hear him. How adorable is that? He talks like I'm pretty sure he talks like a 16-year-old. No, like a 4-year-old maybe. Talks all day. Okay, cortisol levels. Well, look, it's important to understand that cortisol is a good thing. We need cortisol in our bodies. So you have your kidney, and then you have your adrenal gland, and then your adrenal gland releases cortisol, the hormone cortisol, into your bloodstream. So why is this important? Because when we're looking at balancing our hormones, and here's the thing, we hear this all the time, is we work with women 40 plus, mainly women, almost exclusively 40 plus, probably 85% of our audience. Some a little bit younger, some a little bit I was gonna say older, but so when I say 40 plus, I really mean 40 to 60. Some are a little bit older and some are a little bit younger, but cortisol levels in particular is something that we often get questions about, or not cortisol levels, hormones in general. And one of the easiest ones, at least for me to understand and explain, is cortisol, because of what I'm going to explain here with you shortly. But it's important to understand that everyone's like, oh, cortisol level, they're like in fear, and that brings on that fear state, right, that I just talked about, and how we need to avoid that fear state and understand that cortisol is actually a good thing. We need cortisol in our body, and those, like, cortisol levels go through every cell of our body. So we need that for different functions. One of them is for survival. It's just like your metabolism. A lot of people are afraid or in fear, or probably more lack of knowledge than anything, of their metabolism, like not really sure how it works. Like we need to have a metabolism because it puts us in a survival state. Now consider our makeup wasn't for today. Like our makeup and over the years and over the generations was specifically for survival. And just think, and that's why we deal with so many challenging issues today, because we weren't meant to sit in front of a screen or scroll through our news feed for hours to be able to function optimally. Like our bodies were meant to move. Our bodies were meant to go and find food and put in the work to, whether that's picking berries, planting a garden, or running from an animal. And like we have clear, it's kind of jokingly, right? Like you're running from an animal, but that's your fight or flight state that we're in. And when our cortisol levels aren't balanced, or sorry, when our metabolism isn't balanced, we're often put in that fight or flight state, which kind of puts our hormones out of whack because we're not actually running from an animal. We're not actually running for survival. What we're doing is it's almost like intentionally putting ourselves in a very what's the word, like stagnant, very tight type of state of being. Like our boss tells us something we don't want to hear, and some people just like stress through the roof. They're like, "Oh my gosh, how am I going to be able to handle this?" And your body is like, "Is an animal chasing you?" You like almost automatically put yourself in that fight or flight state, right? And then that's when we have increased blood pressure. That's when we have digestion issues. And I'll tell you exactly what's happening is that your adrenals are directly connected to your brain. So when your brain says, "Oh my gosh, this is happening," so you're all tense and you're in fear and you're not sure what's going to happen next. We put ourselves in that elevated stress state. From your brain to your adrenals, it says we need more cortisol to help our body function with this stressful state. So what happens is, what happens is that everything has intensified. Our body in that flight or flight state is holding on to everything possible, especially body fat, because it's like, are we in survival mode? Are we freezing and we might not make it through the night? Everything from our makeup and our DNA comes from thousands of years ago, at least hundreds. As we evolve, our bodies haven't evolved around the stressful state, which is why we have to do things to reduce our stress levels. And I'm going to tell you about that here as well. But I just want to let that hit home for a moment and help you understand that the cortisol levels are a good thing. Our body naturally releases them, but we unnaturally increase them by what's going on in our mind, because your adrenals in your brain, and I don't remember exactly what it was called, whatever. So there's some function in your brain that connect the two, that fire more cortisol levels, which puts us in a different state of being, not a relaxed state. We got a handful of people in here. Paul is in here. Carrie's in here. Tacey. Starla says, "Yeah, I'm a bear aversion specialist. Don't run." Maybe other animals. Maybe from some other animals. That's interesting, Starla. Thanks for sharing that. I wondered what you do. Like we've talked behind the scenes, but I didn't really. I would love to talk to you about that. I really would. I wonder if we could do an interview. Bears are I'm going way off topic. Bears are so interesting. I gotta tell you, like, when I'm in the woods, like when we camp or we hike quite a bit, I think about bears a lot. Is that ridiculous? Like, I do, like, but I feel like I have to protect my family. And the only thing that I can think of, like, even like a wild cat, might sound out, doesn't really scare me that much. I feel like I could probably fight it off. But like a bear, and when I'm walking through the woods thinking about protecting my family, I'm thinking about bears a lot. Maybe too much. Maybe it's so there. So when I go to the wilderness, my cortisol levels are increased. And I'm actually gaining body fat by trying to relax in the wilderness. It's very counterproductive. No, it's good. I got tips. Awesome, Starla. Okay. Did I do? Did I tag everyone? I guess you guys will come in or you won't. All right. So I think we have the basis of what's happening with our cortisol levels, right? So Kelly says totally. Now I know why I should stay away from hiking. Because hiking can actually make you gain weight. No. Oh my gosh. I was just thinking about this lady. Oh my gosh, this was a couple years ago. Thank you. This lady told me I shouldn't be working out at the park because I was ruining the trees. I had my TRX. Anyways, it was like it's this big deal. Anyway, and I was like, whoa. I just thought about this because it's getting nicer out, and I'm thinking about working outside. And I was like, that lady was in the wrong position, and she came to the wrong person. Like, imagine coming to a fitness enthusiast telling them they shouldn't be working out outside. So, anyways, the town called me and they apologized. It was this big ordeal that I'm certainly over it, but it just made me think of like doing something good, like going for a hike and then increase cortisol levels, or going for a workout outside and someone telling you can't. I'm like, whoa, there is way too much people thinking they should be telling other people what they should be doing. I think this was at least a year ago, maybe two. But anyway, okay, let's go back on topic. So when your cortisol levels increase, so I guess I should preface, you need balanced cortisol levels. So you can have cortisol levels that are too low, and you can have cortisol levels that are too high. Now, both cause negative effects on our body. So we need to have balanced cortisol levels for our bodies to function optimally. So again, understanding that you don't want too low cortisol level, which is quite rare. What we do in this day and age is we surround ourselves with things that stress us out, including friends and family. And then we're like, why can't I drop any weight? Why am I gaining weight? Why are these fat cells continuing to accumulate around my midsection? Now, we have to understand, like, we are a holistic company around nutrition, fitness, exercise, lifestyle. It's not just your cortisol levels, right? If you're like, I'm the most relaxed person in the world eating a cheeseburger, obviously that's going to increase your body fat because you're putting more stress on your body, not directly related to cortisol levels, but you're putting more stress on your body. But if you look at heightened cortisol levels, it directly affects your digestive tract. So think about that for a second. How many times just think about in the past, how many times you've gotten to a difficult situation? Maybe you got into an argument or a fight. Could have been with your spouse, or it could have been with a coworker or a boss, and you're sick to your stomach. We hear it all the time. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. I'm sick to my stomach. That is your cortisol levels increasing, directly affecting your gut and digestion. So we work with clients that come to us and they say, I have really bad digestion. What can I do? So in most cases, we start with looking at the ingredients that they're putting in their body, the different types of food. And then, so we start to balance that gut microbiome that I'm going to talk about here as well. So once we get to that, we have to look at what they continually putting in their body as food, as the source for digestion. And then the things that they shouldn't be putting in, like energy drinks or rancid seed oils, etc. Okay? But we also have to address stress. And I feel like that's a big one that is not regularly addressed. It's like, and here's the thing is that you could have the best fitness program there is, and you're working out consistently exactly how your coach sets you up. You could be eating a great diet and you're staying on track and you're not eating all the nonsense that you know you shouldn't be eating. In most cases, you know you shouldn't be eating it. You just eat it anyways because, well, a number of different factors from goal setting to accountability, motivation, etc. But we don't address our stress levels. So what happens is we are continually stressed out throughout the week and we're not finding ways to reduce our stress. So our body is in that continual fight or flight state of tightness. Do you know what I'm trying to say when I say, I'm trying to think of a better word, but when our body is tight, it's not in a relaxed state. When I think about playing, in my playing days, the more relaxed you were, the more quicker you were, the more faster you were, the more relaxed your mind was, the better you were able to think. Everything just flows better, right? And then you get those people that I was very fortunate. I'm pat myself on the back. I really performed well in the most challenging times, like towards the end of the season, into the playoffs, the championship games. I performed well at those times because I understood how to reduce my stress levels, and that came from confidence, and that confidence came from experience. So I knew that I was in this place before and that I performed well, and that's what I continually told myself, is that I perform well in challenging situations. And that could have came back to school because I called myself the king of cram. I always crammed at the end right before the test. And I wouldn't say I did great early on in school, but when I got to college and university, I actually flourished and did way better than high school, junior high, etc. And there's a number of different factors for that as well, but there's a clear conditioned response in your brain directly connected to your adrenals that cause your cortisol hormone to go through your body. So think about that for a second. If you are continually in a heightened state, your adrenal glands are working overdrive. And what do we call that now? Adrenal fatigue. And I think when I was doing research, I think it was like 1996 or 1998 was when they started to do more clear research around adrenal fatigue. And I'm only laughing because it was like not really a thing, right? Like maybe people were dealing with it at some level in their life, but now we live in this. We live in that latchkey area where kids, both parents were working from home. Kids were kind of raising themselves. The kids let them in. Their parents came home many hours after, and I have zero judgment. I was raised by a single parent. I know I was there. I understand the struggle, and I understand. Or sorry. So for in those situations, it was a very different upbringing than it could be now. Let me come back. Darla says, thanks for the tag. Stress and gut reaction. Thanks so much, Darla. If anyone feels like tagging, I really I saw Brenda jumped in here. Brenda did bear awareness too. I don't know if you guys know each other, but Darla was talking about doing some bear awareness stuff. Brenda actually used to she would dress up in a bear suit. It was the best thing ever. And I'm pretty sure you went to school Brenda, you went to schools, didn't you, and talk to kids? Or maybe you didn't talk to kids in the bear suit. Anyways, I want to try to stay on topic here. So back in the day, we didn't have like adrenal fatigue. Then it was like we got into a different era where both parents were working, and maybe finances were a bit more challenging, and maybe the economy made it a bit more challenging to get by. I don't know. There's probably a dozen different reasons why these things I just lost you guys. Sorry. There's probably a dozen different reasons why adrenal fatigue started to become a thing, but it's relatively newer type of research. So I feel like that's worth noting. But understand that if you are in a heightened state of stress, your adrenals are running overdrive as they continue to pump out cortisol throughout your body. And then we have another symptom, not just increased body fat as one of them, ruined digestion, etc. You also have other things, like you have your digestive issue. You actually have that bloating, so you have that menobelly, right? We talked about women in the past, like women around 40-ish going through menopausal symptoms, they get that meno bloat. So you get that extra bloat. What is that? Increased cortisol levels. We also see research around legs swelling as your cortisol levels increase. So there's a long laundry list of a number of different negative or adverse effects when it comes to increased cortisol levels, which is why it's so important. And I'm going to go over some tips on how you can reduce your stress. I feel like those are pretty simple. Like, I'm not going to give you anything groundbreaking, unfortunately, but don't go away. But don't leave. I just want you to understand like the importance of your raised cortisol levels and what's happening in your body, because so many people struggle with this. So many women in particular at this age group struggle, and they're like, oh my gosh, I've never gained weight at this level before. I've never been this heavy in my life. My old program doesn't work anymore, or what I've tried in the past isn't working. What do I do now? So you're in a different state of being. You are in a different place in life. You feel like your life is the same because your mind, like I just, how it was just my birthday. I still feel like I'm 25 years old. Like my brain says no different. And to be honest, like my body doesn't really say a whole lot different either. Like I don't feel like I have, maybe I'm lying to myself, but I don't feel like I have any signs or symptoms of aging. Like I feel fantastic. And you may feel like that as well, except in this area. And you're like, I feel like young and vibrant. Why am I going through all these digestive issues, bloating, elevated mood swings, hot flashes? So we have to start doing things differently in our life if we want different results. So we're continually doing the same thing, and maybe it was nothing. Maybe it was like, never had to work out in the past. Why do I have to now? Because you're in a different state in life. And you think, for example, that my life hasn't changed that much, but it has. Probably you have grandkids, or grandkids are close, right? Let me know in the comments if anyone has grandkids or who has grandkids. So grandkids are coming closer. So you may have been more active in your regular lifestyle. Now, without knowing it, you're living a more of a sedentary lifestyle. So you're moving less, you're scrolling more, you're Netflixing on a regular basis. So your lifestyle is much different than it used to. So you're accumulating body fat even more. And then we have to deal with our cortisol levels and other hormones I'll talk about in the future. Then we have digestion issues. And all of that is directly linked to exactly what I'm talking about. It's like a vicious cycle that we have to get our heads around and start working towards before our adrenals are drained and we have even more issues to deal with. Shelly has 5 grandkids. Morning, Patty. Morning, Shelly. Shelly Dolly. Dan's in here. Patty, Jackie. Okay. I have a grandson. Yes, you do. Carrie has 11 grandkids. That's amazing. Monique has grandkids. So it's different, right? I think we can all agree. Even when like your kids, like you were a parent of your kids, your life was much different than now as a grandparent, right? So you have to start doing different things. Now, I want to give you 2 examples here. And are you guys in here? Who's in our members that are in here? I have 2 examples, and I didn't ask them ahead of time, and I always want to ask in advance. I don't think either of them would care. Well, actually, I'll mention D because she let us share. She did a whole write-up for us, and during this stress week, I was posting more and more stuff about stress. So D wrote that she does really well with exercise, up and down with nutrition sometimes. She's never missed a workout. Absolutely incredible. And so from there, stress levels were elevated and like kind of up and down with elevation, but heightened often. So we did a whole training similar to this one within our private MAP group, and we get a chance to share and connect, and it's a great community place. But she shared that I think it was, D, are you in here? I think she lost 6 pounds in a week by doing regular meditation and being conscious of her stress levels every day, not just once a week or whenever you feel stress heightened, but in prevention as well. And she's almost down 20 pounds, but that's important to understand is because it's been like a bit of an up and down, still slowly working downward as a whole, but that week in particular, when she started to control her stress levels, was a clear drop. And now I have another story I'll tell you about in a second, but that in particular, so the next week she maintained that weight loss. So she didn't lose again. And I feel like this is important for you guys to understand, because sometimes we'll have someone come in and they'll lose 5 or 10 pounds really quickly, and then they'll start to level off. And that's a good thing. And it's so hard for our minds to wrap that around because, and I don't mean level off forever. You level off for a week, maybe 2, and then you start to drop again. But the thing is that if you lose a bunch of weight one week and you gain it back the next week, that wasn't a sustainable weight loss. Like that wasn't real results. That was a superficial, maybe water weight, maybe you ate really clean, but that didn't really feel sustainable for you. So you're continually up and down. If you lose a chunk of weight, and it could be 1 pound, it could be 3 pounds. We're all looking at biggest losers, 10, 20 pounds. If you lose regardless and the next week you maintain, that's a good thing. You should celebrate that. And now that's your baseline. So use that as your baseline and decide. Okay, so Dee said she lost 6. So when we're talking, thanks for sharing that. She's in here. She was 6 pounds in 2 weeks, and 1 pound a week is great. 1 pound a week is what your goal should be. So anything above and beyond that is even better. It's bonus. So for you guys, when you drop and then maintain, this is a great one. Your stress levels go up because you're like, oh my gosh, I did really good. Why am I not seeing results? You are seeing results. So what happens is your cortisol levels go up. You feel like the program or the effort, whatever it is that you're doing, isn't working anymore. So you either slip back into old habits, or because your cortisol levels are so high, you start to increase your body weight naturally without even knowing it. Right? So you have to, this is, we do a lot of work with our clients with their mindset. Like, you have to prepare your mind properly for weight loss, for results. So many people have never seen results before. I can't tell you how many times someone has come into one of our programs and they thought the scale was broken. They're like, this has never happened before. I checked 3 different scales because I thought my initial scale was broken. It's not broken. If you get into a program or system that actually works, you're going to see results. But you also have to manage your expectations that it's okay to maintain. So set a new baseline, set a new bar, and then drop from there instead of being like, oh my gosh, I dropped quickly, I'm just going to gain it all back, right? That's the mindset that we want to stay away from. And a lot of the training that goes behind our MAP program is helping you understand and properly prepare. Like Dorothy, for example, she just went through a whole training session on helping your mind catch up with your body. So she's in the same position many of you are, or would hope to be, or will be. So for her, for example, she keeps buying or wearing clothes that are too big for her. And I'm like, those don't fit you. Didn't you just buy that? And she's like, I know. I don't know. I think she used to wear an 8 and now she's a 6, but she doesn't believe she's a 6. And I'm like, we have these conversations like, you have to start to believe that. You have to understand that that is your body type now. And you have to act like that, talk like that. You have to dress like that. Because if everything that you're doing, I don't believe I'm this weight. I don't believe these are my inches. I don't believe I could drop that quickly, or this is sustainable. You work backwards and you continually push yourself to where you don't want to go, right? It's like, it's that, actually, I don't even want to say it. You focus on the place you want to go instead of where you don't want to go, and that will get you there quicker. And we see that quite often. People coming from other programs. Oh, I dropped 20 pounds, then I gained it all back, because they don't have any place to go after that 20 pounds. So if you don't have anything, if you don't have your mind or vision set to the future after you hit that goal weight, then what are you going to do? You're going to take steps backwards so you have something to work towards in the future, right? I can see it clear as day, but it's so blinding for those people that are actually in it. They're in the struggle, they're in the grind, and they're like, don't know why they continue to yo-yo back and forth. Is that because there's nothing past there? Your vision can't go past that 20-pound mark. And when we start working with people, I say, what is your goal weight? And they say, well, in high school I was this. And I was like, okay, well, let's put some meaning to it. Why do you want to be that goal weight? And once we get you there, what is the next step? What are you going to look forward to? Because so many people just look at that goal weight. And it's not just about weight. Understand that that's just the easiest tangible thing we can work towards. We like to set activity, like, I think Carrie's still in here. Carrie wanted to hike some type of volcano in Hawaii, which she did. Some of our clients want to want a kayak, and there's a number of different things, but you have to find something that has value to you and has meaning, and then there'll be a more of emotional connection, so you can keep pushing yourself and continue to see results. Let's see. Kelly says I have the opposite problem. I buy the size I was. That's awesome. Let me read that again. Kelly says I have the opposite problem. I buy her clothes. Okay. Can you guys still hear me? Okay, I just went blank. And okay, I was just gonna wrap things up here. Give me 2 seconds and I will try to figure out what happened. Okay. That was great. Are we back? Oh my gosh, what a disaster. When I grow up, I'll have a tech guy or a producer taking care of all this for me. Can you guys let me know in the comments if I'm back here live with you? Can you see me? I think we're back. Pretty sure we're back. Okay. At any rate, I'm gonna give you a handful of tips real quick. I'm gonna give me like three to 5 minutes, and then I'll let you go. I can see you. Thanks, Tacy. Thanks, Kelly. Yep. Okay. Thanks, Brian. I missed. Oh, Monique says slow and steady for the win. Yes, 100%. So, what you need to do to start reducing your stress levels is a handful of things you probably know of, but let's go over some anyways. One of them is prayer or meditation. I use those interchangeably. Doesn't matter what you do or what you believe in. You need to have some quiet time to sit and think and relax. Busy parents, busy moms, busy grandparent, whatever you are, whatever you label yourself as, you still have to make time for that. So I would say to our clients, if you don't make time for that, then you would say, I don't have time to burn body fat, because it's so challenging to get on that weight loss ride to begin with. And then you're not going to do things that you should be doing, like prayer, meditation, deep breathing, to reduce those cortisol levels, which will then put your body in a more relaxed state so you can burn body fat. So you have to decide which is more important to you. Will you make that time? Because you do have time. It's a mindset saying I don't have time. So you either make that time or you don't, and you put your body in a very challenging position to burn that body fat. But it could be reduce your cortisol levels, and it's not just body fat, right? Like improved digestion, inflammation is something I didn't talk about too much, but that was that meno bloat I talked about, like bloated legs. Like there's a number of different things that we see from that retention. Like it's almost like water weight retention. So, okay, there's that one. We have to start reducing the stressful foods we're putting in our body. So you're putting those rancid seed oils, you're putting refined sugar. They're going, like, you go into McDonald's eating those fries, right? Because you didn't make time to prepare food, whatever it is. I'm not trying to make you feel guilty, but understand that those decisions that you're making are either putting your body in a more stressful state, which causes your adrenals to go overdrive as your body gets pumped through with cortisol hormone all day. And something I didn't mention either, I feel like we could talk about this for another hour, but your cortisol levels are actually higher in the morning, and they tend to kind of slow down in the evening because your body is being put into a more restful state so you can sleep. So that's another reason, like, you have more energy, like you're more awake and alert in the morning, which is another reason why we tell our clients that the best time to work out is the morning. So that's number one. But the problem is your body wants to naturally relax and have less cortisol, but you're so stressed out later in the day, your body's like fighting against itself. And then there's what happens. There's your adrenals that are pumping overdrive because it's trying to naturally slow down so it can build itself back up in the morning to offer energy and help you be alive and alert and awake. But you're so stressed out at the end of the day, you're absolutely mentally exhausted. Those cortisol levels are like pushed higher up. So then what does your body say? Fight or flight, tension, hold on to, like, survival mode, hold on to that body fat, because it's not really sure what's happening. Like doesn't really know if you're being chased by a wild animal, like a bear. I was thinking more of like a Tyrannosaurus. Okay, a couple more tips is like we're big fans of magnesium, obviously. Magnesium, sorry, I don't mean to say obviously. I don't like that word. It always sounds condescending to me. As we sell, if you're new here, we sell a number of different supplements. Magnesium is one of them. Magnesium is a natural relaxant. So that's why one of the many benefits I feel everyone should be taking magnesium, because you don't get it in your food, but because it's a natural relaxant. So it can help with your digestion. It can help with bowel movements. It can help reduce stress levels. So we should be having at least one. We should have at least two forms of magnesium. An ingestible magnesium, that's number one. That goes through different processes in our body, and then we should have a topical form of magnesium to help relax and enter our body in a different way. What's the best way to do that? In a hot detoxing bath. If you guys need the recipe, let me know and we'll hook you up. But we have a very nice, very simple recipe. I feel like I've shared a lot often. Great for your immune system, great for inflammation from joints. Even with the borax, you can look at helping with osteoporosis. So having a regular hot detoxing bath to reduce your stress levels is super important. I recommend that at least once a week. So again, here's the thing is like so many times we like these things that we don't do take time out of our day. So we're like, I don't have time to do them. So I'm like, then you don't have time to see results. That's it. Like there's no other way around it. So you have to take time or make time, or you're not scrolling through your news feed or putting up a post about your cat. Oh, you're making time to have a hot detoxing bath and you step away from electronics. Or you take 5 deep breaths. I gave you guys at least 3 examples this week in this group of how you can do breath work to help reduce your stress levels, which reduces your cortisol levels. 5 minutes a day. Anybody has time for that. Start with 3 minutes a day, right? So, okay, so that is, I'm just reading comments as I'm trying to focus. Thanks for the comments. Monique says yes, and Lorna jumped in here. Okay. So deep breathing exercises, hot detox bath, proper supplementation with magnesium. And then you could look at the foods that you put in your body that are causing your body to increase its stress levels. So my voice is leaving me, and I feel like I've kept you guys long enough. So thank you guys very much for joining me. If you guys are waiting for your order, we do appreciate your patience. We do have a lot of orders that are going to be going out today through shipment and pickup. On Monday, we're going to be doing pickups as well. The last thing I want to mention, I'll leave you with, is some people are not on our email list and some people are not on our text list. Now, you don't have to be, and if you do subscribe, you can leave at any time. The problem that we've heard over this last week is that some people didn't get our emails. That's number one. And some people missed out on the sale. So we don't spam our email list. Like our email list, we send a couple a week. If you don't want them, you can unsubscribe. Unfortunately, that means you wouldn't get a chance to see some of our sales specials, new products like this. If you don't open up email, here's the thing, like at the bottom of every email, we say tips to keep receiving our email, and almost no one does any of them. One of them is to reply to an email, like reply to our email. Just say, thanks, I got it. That's it. That tells your server that tells our servers that you want emails from us. If you never open up emails from us, they will go to your spam folder. That's just how the email systems work. So if you don't open, it's a waste of time for us and money, because it costs us money to send emails. Crazy, right? Running a business. If you never open an email, we will take you off the list because it's worthless. If you never respond, our emails will go into your spam folder. If you don't want to use email, we also have a text option. So you can get text, and we send 1, maybe twice a week text messages. You can unsubscribe at any time. But these are all you can click on. You click, if we have a link, you click on the link, that will tell your servers to connect us. And then there's the other one of adding we have 2 emails, drew@trueformlife.com and support@trueformlife.com. You can grab that email and put it in your list of contacts that tells your server you want to hear from us. Very few people do any of those. And then we still get messages like, I'm not getting your emails. And like, okay, or I don't use email. Jump on our text list. I don't want text messages. Then you miss out. Like, there's not much else we can do, but we try to do everything possible to keep you guys connected. We did the sale exclusively through the emails and text because we don't want to be 100% reliant on Facebook. That's it. We want to make sure that it's like insurance for us. If we lose this platform for whatever reason and we lose our customer base, we can't feed ourselves. That's it. That's the bottom line. So that's why we want to make sure that we have you guys in different areas if you want to be part of our community. And if you don't, that's perfectly fine. I imagine you wouldn't be here. But I just wanted to explain to you guys why some people aren't getting the emails, because you're not replying, because you're not clicking, because we're not saved. That's number one. Some people just haven't ever subscribed. And I got a message like, hey, how come I didn't get your email? And I was like, did you subscribe to our emails? And they're like, oh, no. So if you want to be on our email list, let us know. If you're not, if you do get emails from us, respond once in a while. If you want to be on our text list, let us know, and we'll put you on our text list. And if you don't like either of them, all you have to do is reply stop or unsubscribe. And that's it, because we don't want to send you information that you're not going to read, that is not useful, or that's annoying, because that's not part of our business model. And it costs us money to send text messages and emails. And I don't want to do that if people don't want them. Sound good? Monique says, I love the email reminder. My mom said similar. Annette says, I like the text option. It's very minimal messages per week. Same as email. You never spam us. Thanks, Annette. Appreciate that. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for being here, hanging out with us. If you're watching the replay, make sure you let us know in the comments you're watching. You're watching as well. It's always nice to see. Have a great day. Have a great weekend, and catch up with you soon. Bye, everyone.